Not everybody has access to training kit, weights, etc. in a gym and whatever. So I'm going to demonstrate a few ideas for training at home, building on the old can of beans idea, using a backpack. And inside this backpack I've got the can of beans, and I've even got a tub of protein powder and whatever else is going to add weight to it. Just need to make sure that the backpack is strong enough to actually hold the weight and not come collapsing on all over the place when we start to use them. So I'm going to come up with some ideas now and demonstrate them all. Before we start doing any kind of exercise, we need to make sure we're nice and warm, ready to go. So I'll just go through a few bits and pieces to do to make sure we're nice and mobile and warm. Just remember, we don't stretch to warm up, we mobilise to warm up. Okay, and whilst I'm on it, when I'm demonstrating the exercises with the bags, it's important that we do a warm-up set for each one before we go in to add more weight to it, and then do a bit more meaty stuff. So just to warm up then, we're going to start with squats, and we should be warming up for about 5 minutes. How often do we do that on the beach? Then I'm going to go into good mornings. So legs are slightly bent, and they stay slightly bent as well. I'm going to pivot at the hips. This then starts getting that posterior chain moving, the hamstrings, the glutes, the lower back. Once we've been doing that for say 20 seconds or so, we'll put a bit of a turn into it. Okay, and to warm the shoulders up, get the shoulders mobilized, hands out in front, pull them back to the level here, up, and reach back round like this. Keep doing that. Reach back round again. That's a lovely feeling when you're squeezing those shoulder blades together. Just think what the rowing action is going to do. All that pressure from the oar on your the upper and middle of your back. So just mobilizing those muscles, making sure they know you're going to do something in a minute. And again, just to get the shoulders moving again, is we're going to start a nice big reach forward, reaching back. Notice how I'm turning my hands as I go. Big sweeps, as if you're trying to pinch something between your shoulder blades. Getting smaller. And then changing direction. And we're going to be a big reach forward again, over. See how my hands are turning as I'm doing that? Now those few things I've just shown you, just do those on a rotation at least twice. Okay, squats. I've got the bag on my back. Again, there's another variation. We can hold it in the front called a goblet squat. I'll demonstrate another exercise with that in shortly. So I'm going to put my hands out in front, legs at shoulder width apart. You can put your hands here if you want to. Another great exercise and a variation on the squat is called the goblet squat, where you actually hold the weight in front of you here, so your core is actually stabilizing the weight as you go into the squat. So I'm going to add a little bit of a variation to it, and I'm going to call this the goblet squat to press. So that's going to bring in the glutes, the quads, the hamstrings, and it's going to bring in the core as well as the arms and shoulders. So I'll just demonstrate that now. So squat first, then straight into shoulder step ups, using a good height for me because it's almost a right angle for my stumpy legs. I'm going to stand in front of it, and it's going to work my quads, my hamstrings, and the all-important glutes for rowing. Just to work a bit of core, I could take the bag off, hold it in front of me like this, and then carry on doing the step ups like that. The exercise that best reflects what we do in the boat, the rowing stroke, is the deadlift. It's almost identical, just turned on its back really. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate the deadlift using the bag with the weight in it. It's a strong old exercise, so you could probably shift quite a bit in that bag. Again, make sure it's strong enough. So I'm setting my start position here now. I'm going to pick up the bag and get into the deadlift. Each time I will put the bag down, so I'm actually lifting the weight off the floor every time rather than keeping it hanging. Lunges. Great for the quads, hamstrings and glutes again. Really good for that leg drive that we do when we're rowing, either on the erg or in the boat. It's important to get a good stable start. So looking forward, you step forward, down, back up again, and come the other way. And then swap over to the other leg. Okay, bent over row. Great for strengthening the back muscles, bit of the arms as well, and a bit more core because we're doing it with one arm. There's a handy banister I got, or handy bridge actually. Takes me to a nice height here. Bicep curls. The biceps are the muscles at the front of the arm. I'm going to hold the bag here and just curl it up. And as I'm curling it up, I'll turn sideways so you can see, I'm turning my hands outwards. Triceps, the muscles at the back of the arm. So we're going to do tricep kickbacks using this, getting into the position, similar position I was in when I was doing the bent over rows. So it's here. And this, remember, this was the end position of the bent over rows. I'm just kicking back, doing exactly what the name suggests. One-sided deadlift. It's exactly what it says on the tin. I'm holding the weight on one side, and it's really good for stabilizing the core. You need to make sure you keep nice and upright, and it really is a core bracing exercise. So I'm going to go down, pick up again, and then swap hands. Remember this? Lots of us have done this over the years since we've been rowing. We're not going to do this. We're going to do what's called a rotating plank. So you get into this position here, like the press up position. Legs slightly wider apart. This plank is all about movement and building the core through movement rather than what they call isometrics, standing still or keeping still. So lifting up,